you've crossed the starting line. August 28, 2014. The higher connections you can make are stronger than we could hope to express, and realizing just how able you are to make these connections will help many of you find the motivation that seems missing. If you're motivated or willing enough, you can complete any and every creative venture you decide to take up, but it's essential that you don't give up. Instead of giving up, you can strengthen and increase your efforts to successfully complete any given creative project, and as long as you aren't willing to give up or admit defeat, you'll find that you're infinitely capable of doing anything and everything. Your willingness and dedication are very important, and whether you're dedicated to a particular creative work or the overall ascension path, the work that results from this dedication will help you and everyone around you find a higher vibration and enjoy the perceptual wonders that result. In reality, it doesn't matter what you choose to dedicate yourselves to, as long as it helps humanity. Inability isn't permanent. As long as your work helps the conscious public and the rest of your planet find a higher state of consciousness, little else matters. You could do any given creative work, and as long as you're committed to it, you'd be able to do it with ease. The ego will attempt to convince you you're somehow unable to do the things you embrace, and in many cases, this can be caused because of your initial inability to do them, which, of course, isn't permanent. Any seeming inability only exists because you haven't yet explored your range of ability in the creative avenue it's related to, and if you haven't practiced an ability, you can't expect to be great at it overnight. As long as you refuse to give up, even when it doesn't seem like you'll be able to do anything significant or helpful, the creative, masterful flow you seek will make its way to you. You simply have to be willing to receive it, and if you aren't, you won't receive the fruits your dedication could have otherwise produced. A lot is happening on your planet, and much of it is difficult to describe through earthly scribes. The ongoing turmoil in the Middle East is clearing out centuries of old energies that have remained stagnant and fed in this area, and even though the violence playing out would, at first glance, seem only to feed such devastating energies, a monumental clearing is taking place, and the ongoing conflict has its part to play in it. It can be difficult to understand that everything playing out is for very real and needed purpose, and the things happening in the Middle East and plenty of other places aren't necessarily pointless or random. Of course, it seems this way when viewed from your perspective, but from our perspective, every soul who loses their life or sustains heavy injury has agreed to play the role they're playing, and many people are paying off large karmic debts with the things they're experiencing. This certainly isn't a reason for turmoil to continue unchecked, of course, but when it seems like darkness and chaos rule the day, know that everything is happening for a reason. Darkness and chaos don't really rule, but it's easy to convince oneself they do, if one doesn't understand the greater significance behind them. One of the reasons war and chaos continue to plague your planet is because, for the most part, the people haven't yet arisen and made their voices heard on the necessity to end war, violence, and various other things that keep your society enmeshed in your current paradigm. Widespread protests are starting to occur that put the focus on ending war and violence, and while a lot of potent and needed progress has been made in this avenue, the rest of humanity still remains to rise up and proclaim your dissatisfaction with the current manner in which your planet is run. Protest is important from our perspective, but it can't be the only effort you make. You hold yourselves back if you stick to one method of creating change, and if you want to create direct, outer changes, it's essential to do the inner work that's required to put yourselves on a loving, compassionate vibration, which you can use to start spiritually healing your planet. Counteracting war and negative energy. We've said before that we recommend a balance of physical and spiritual work, and you can counteract the negative energy being funneled into your collective consciousness with waves of light, which you're starting to realize you can bring through. You can counteract physical war with physical protest, and you can counteract the negative energy that drives such war with potent inner work. Your abilities as light workers are stronger than most of you think, and if you want to, you could become the most effective light workers your planet has ever seen. As we give this message, Plenty of worldwide meditations for peace have taken place that aim to put the world's focus on everything about your planet that needs transcended if you want to enter the light. Peace is an essential aspect of the creation of your positive future, as is justice, and whether or not you take part in any coordinated meditation event, you're encouraged to pray and meditate for peace, love, joy, harmony and myriad other positive, uplifting qualities every day. The potency of the energy you'll send out is inexpressible, and needless to say, you'd affect your planet and collective consciousness very strongly if you meditated on peace daily. Your energy and how you choose to use it is very important, and realizing its importance is the first step embracing it and producing as much pure and inspired spiritual work as you feel you can. A lot of direct, physical changes need made to your planet, but these changes can't happen if humanity isn't aligned with the higher vibration on the inside. Your work to bring humanity into the light is becoming increasingly potent as you continue to feel motivated and inspired to do whatever's required to transform your planet, and as long as you're willing to match any outer changes that are made with the appropriate inner changes, everything will flow smoothly. Some of you feel like you're only on the earth to do the inner work that's required while you watch others do the outer work, and there's nothing wrong with this. Everyone has their role to play in the construction of your new society, and nobody will be left out in this time of individual and planetary transformation. Everyone will eventually find what works for them and pursue it with might and ferocity, and your efforts will eventually lead to the amazing changes you've heard so much about, which the fabled disclosure announcements will have a lot to do with. There's a lot you haven't been told, and we look forward to the time when the individual and collective veil of illusion and unknowing is peeled away from your minds and hearts. You have a lot to learn, and your ability to learn these things hinges on your willingness. In fact, the same can be said with every aspect of your life. Your ability to do anything successfully is hinged on how willing and able you are to do it, and this takes us back to the importance of dedication and commitment. We'll repeat that you can do literally anything you want, as long as you're willing enough to do it, and not to give up in the face of the aforementioned, perceived inability. Your limitless receptors for the energy and inspiration of Source, and tapping into your infinite, omnipotent energy will motivate many of you to start making the most potent inner and outer changes that need made, so you can transform your perception and see what the other side of the veil has to offer. Many of you are piercing this veil with enthusiasm, and you're given a wealth of assistance from your higher selves and guides with finding a higher state of consciousness, transmuting the demons that have held many of you back, and various other things that are relevant to your ascension, and the new society you're creating. Society will be seen in a new light. For this new society to be built, war and hatred will have to cease completely, and we're confident that this will happen as humanity continues to become aware of the necessity to live in peace and cease your old ways of division and hatred, which have only held you back. When humanity becomes aware of the existence of spirit, which will help peel away the collectively enforced illusion, a lot of things about your current society will be seen in a new light. The various aspects of your society that keep you in a low state of consciousness will be understood for what they are, and television will never be looked at the same again. You'll learn that television was hijacked a long time ago to hold you back and keep you in a mentally dull, numb state of consciousness, and ignorance of the cabal's agenda to dumb humanity down will be replaced with a widespread understanding of this agenda and the role television's meant to play in it. We're happy to let you know, however, that television, like everything else, will transform. Slowly yet surely, positive news stories, television shows and movies are emerging that help awaken humanity, even if only a little bit, to the existence of spirit and everything else you have to learn. Negative news stories, TV shows, and movies about your galactic family will grow to be replaced with positive, truthful stories, and the purposeful ignorance your media has fed will be scrapped in favor of widespread, collective awareness of everything you need to learn before you can construct your new society with an open spiritual understanding. You have so much to learn, dearest children, and you'll learn these things in due time if you continue to work as hard as you can, producing pure, spiritually inspired work for the rest of your planet to benefit from. Your work is as important as any other aspect of your heavenly future, and we encourage you to get active with the knowledge you carry within, using it to help everyone gain similar knowledge. We continue to watch you strive to do what you can to contribute to your new society with love in our one heart and appreciation for everything you've done, and we'll make our final expressions for this communication with the utmost love and support for your efforts so far. Your efforts will increase as your motivation to contribute to your future increases, and soon enough, all of humanity will actively contribute to your new society and the immense things that need done to bring it about. Your planet's health will become a very important aspect of the future you seek to create, and the conscious public will pioneer the most important changes that need made, with help from the company of heaven. Your future has already begun, and we say with love that you're the ones who started it. You've crossed the starting line and you're now running the race, so pace yourselves, you'll eventually get there. Strive to complete the race, of course, but know that you don't have to strive so hard that you bring yourselves out of your loving center. Remain in your center as you do the work that's required to complete this race, and know that you're endlessly loved and supported by every soul in the higher realms who looks upon humanity with love. Thank you to my higher self and spiritual guides. Channeled through Wes Anak. cultureofawareness.com